Hello, and I hope you're having a great weekend, everybody. Um, Traitors is not on now until Wednesday, so I have a gap to fill. I know some people are watching it kind of before it's actually aired properly on BBC. I won't be doing that, I'll just be keeping terrestrial TV time. Hopefully, that doesn't irritate uh, too many people, but it, I'm sure that the majority are watching it the same way as I am. So I'll be waiting on Wednesday to see who got kicked out of Brian and Ash. Um, I've said that I think it will probably be Brian, but toss of a coin really. Um, and I've been asked who I think will win it. I don't know. I've got no idea. The thing about it is that I remember from last time, there are so many twists and turns, so many peaks and troughs for everybody involved. Um, you're doing well if you just kind of move along on a nice even playing field, but generally what I remember last time, it was like this for everybody. So I don't know who's going to win it. I don't think there's any real point in trying to predict. You might as well just um, yeah, it's just pure guesswork, isn't it? Um, and I also just wanted to quickly comment on it's it's also kind of difficult. I see it with other um, TV shows. A lot of it comes down to the editing at the end of the day. I don't really watch things like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, things like that. I probably will start watching them now. But again, just quite sort of ruthless or proactive editing can completely alter everyone's perception of what's going on. So you have to be mindful of that as well. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about something that is, as far as I'm concerned, a national icon, and that is, I know this isn't going to please everybody, but I'm going to quickly touch on the FA Cup third round, which, if you're into football at all, and quite often if you're not into football, you'll have an eye on the FA Cup, um, especially the third round. It's traditionally the kind of weekend of shocks where the big boys get a bloody nose every now and then. So it's exciting, and for me personally, as a Chelsea supporter all my life, um, I've had some love and hate relationships with the FA Cup, but in 1997, just after my daughter was born, Chelsea ended up in the cup final at Wembley against Middlesbrough, a game that we won 2-0. It was the first major trophy that we'd won in my lifetime. I was born in 1972. We won the FA Cup in 1970 and the Cup Winners' Cup against Real Madrid in 1971 after a replay in, I think it was in Athens. I'm pretty sure it was in Athens. Anyway, everyone's got an FA Cup story. Mine probably is that during that cup run in 1997, I actually went to every game that we played in the FA Cup that season. So I believe it. Oh, this is going to test me. I believe it was West Brom at home. Then it was Liverpool at home. We were 2-0 down at half time, being absolutely mullered. And Luca Vialli and Gianfranco Zola turned it on, and Mark Hughes actually was great. Turned it on, and we ended up winning 4-2. It was live on BBC One. on a Sunday afternoon. It was brilliant, actually. I've been to hundreds and hundreds of games at Stamford Bridge, and I've never known the place erupt the way it did. The third and fourth goals against Liverpool were just, I mean, I was in the West Stand, and I ended up somehow 2 rows of seats down from where I was sitting, because, yeah, we were just kind of rocking and rolling, I guess. So yesterday there were actually no cup upsets that I can think of. I listened to and watched a bit of Sunderland against Newcastle, because obviously that is a fierce. It's not. It's kind of it's a northeast derby. It's not a local derby as such, but yeah, I was kind of hopeful that Sunderland might poke Newcastle in the eye a little bit, but they really didn't. They really didn't show up as far as I could sort of glean from listening and watching. Could have been an upset at one of the other West London clubs, QPR. I think they were 2-0 up against Bournemouth. And not surprisingly, I'm afraid to say, they then conspired to mess it all up and lose 3-2. I think that's the way it went. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was 2-0, but they were in the game, and QPR are not doing very well, so they would have liked to have a little bit of a cup run to kind of build morale a little bit and give their supporters something. It's a funny thing with QPR. I used to go there quite a lot when I was a kid, because when I was too young, I wasn't allowed to go to Chelsea on my own. Not in the early 80s when it was all absolute madness. And QPR really hate Chelsea, and I'll be honest with you, we don't even think about QPR. That's not trying to be disrespectful, but yeah, just completely different things, I guess. But I understand why QPR fans hate Chelsea. So, you know, the fact that they lost yesterday, I'm not gloating over that. I don't really get involved in that kind of stuff. I was raised as a kid to hate Tottenham and Leeds, funny enough. And I do hate Tottenham and I do hate Leeds, but not in a malicious kind of way. I like seeing football results on a Saturday when Chelsea have won, Tottenham have lost. Hopefully Rangers have won as well, and Celtic have lost, because I'm a big Rangers fan. And I like to see if Aldershot have won, because I used to live right next to their ground, the first place I bought 25 years ago, sorry. And I also always keep an eye out for Portsmouth, who my late brother-in-law was a massive supporter of Portsmouth, and I used to live not far up the A3, so I know a few Pompey boys. And I always hope Portsmouth do well because of my late brother-in-law. We went to 2 or 3 games when Chelsea were playing Portsmouth at Fratton Park, and we kind of used that to get to know each other better. What else? Well, there may be possibly an upset about to happen. I think it's half time, and Nottingham Forest are at home losing 2-1 to Blackpool at the moment. We'll see what happens there. Forest are a pretty decent team now, so I would say that they'll probably come back and possibly even win, but we'll see. That could be the first upset. And finally, Arsenal against Liverpool this afternoon. Hard to pick a winner there. I know neither of them would particularly like to draw the game and have a replay. I think that I'm going to tip Arsenal to just relieve themselves from their sort of current dip in form. So I'm going to say Arsenal will nick it 1-0. That's it.